Test. Oh, can I have everyone's attention, please? I would like to call the evening into order, actually, because I think that's what it says on the program, call to order. So we're called to order. Most importantly, I want to say thank you to everyone who has shown up tonight for the gratitude, the compassion, the loyalty, and the love that you guys possess to a community. The collaboration for all the service units and clubs and families and organizations that all come together to make everything happen. And usually during this time of the volunteer dinner, we focus on the red kettle. Well, this year we're not just focusing on the red kettle. The goal tonight is to engage and let you guys know what the Salvation Army does, what the Salvation Army's role is in our community 365 days a year. And you're going to get to see some slides. We're going to have interviews taking place. You're going to be part of an audience. So without further ado, we're going to get the night started, and we're going to have a good time doing it. And I'm going to call our advisory board chair, Paul Galvin, up, and he's going to welcome our honored guests.
Thank you, Envoy Lynette, and welcome everyone again from the Board of Directors for the Salvation Army. And not only a welcome, but a big thank you for all that you all do throughout the year to make the Salvation Army successful. So we really appreciate all your efforts, and this is a small way of us saying thank you to you. So let me just introduce some of our distinguished guests this evening. First of all, we have the Mayor of Fitchburg, Stephen D. Natale. And then we have Michelle Marino from the Veterans Organization. And Major Davis was here somewhere. There he is, Major Davis from the DHQ Salvation Army. Thank you for being here. And I think that was all in it, right? No. But now I get to introduce, I know, Sergeant Major Herb White. Now, excuse me. I forgot our very special guest, Barbara. Thank you for being here, Barbara. You were too close to me. I couldn't see you. Okay, I think that's all that I see out there. I miss anybody else, Lynette? Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, I should mention Maggie and Debbie, because all the decorations you see here this evening, Maggie and Debbie worked hard all day along with Lynette to put this all together. So thank you, Maggie and Lynette. Okay, so now it's my pleasure to introduce Major Herb White. Major White has been with the local Salvation Army for a number of years, and he's still serving in our local chapter and doing a great job, and he's going to lead us in prayer this evening. Major? I mean, excuse me, you're not Major, you're Sergeant. Okay. Too many officers.
Before we do that, I would just like, and I thought today, and thinking about looking at the audience we have out here right now, I was reminded of the scripture written in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, which says very simply, to everything there's a season, a time for every purpose under heaven. And how that's so true of all the people that are here doing different roles and so on. The Salvation Army also has a parallel phrase, which we probably haven't heard too often, but it says every need has a season. And it's not just Christmas anymore, it's year-round, and the demand is increasing year by year. Tonight, it's our time to celebrate our volunteer effort and services which have greatly benefited our local communities and those who need our help. I'm reminded very much of the fire we had on Beekman Place this last year, and all that involved, and that's just one role, but that was something that never happened before, and we had to cover that. And Lynette and her team, everybody, EDS people, everything, just really did a tremendous job in taking care of that, and they still are, for that person. And on behalf of the Salvation Army, I would just say to you, too, that we're very grateful for all the services and efforts you've provided to benefit our citizens and your willingness to help achieve the results you'll hear about tonight. We are most grateful for your commitment to help us reach our goals in our programs and our financial goals as well. And with that, shall we just bow our heads together? Dear God, our Heavenly Father, tonight we ask your blessing on our meeting here this evening. We thank you for all who have volunteered and have served the Montezuma Corps of the Salvation Army to serve and meet the needs of our fellow citizens at their time of need. We thank you for your presence with us as we celebrate their availability and efforts to benefit our communities. May their efforts continue into the future to benefit us all. And we pause just now as well to ask your blessing on the meal we're about to receive, and bless the hands that provided this for us. And may you bless us all, and God bless America. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Herb. And this wasn't planned, Lynette, but I'm going to throw a little monkey wrench. I'm going to ask Karen Fusco and Jim Fusco to go around and ask tables to go up for the buffet, so that it's not just a mad rush to get to the buffet. So Karen and Jim, if you could stop by our tables with the guests of honors here, and then we'll move around the room, okay? And with that, we'll start our dinner. Thank you all.
Of course I have my cheat cards.
I need Carrie. I'm looking for Carrie. I need Carrie. You're gonna go get that cupcake. Yeah.
What happened?
I was hit by a drunk driver back in 2009 and crushed my foot and broke my kneecap in half on the same leg, so I can't put all my weight on that one foot. But this hit my elbow. Can I bring my best friend?
I'm waiting on Carrie. She's taking food out of the oven. Can I have everyone's attention, please? Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started with our program tonight. And like I said, it's a little different, a little bit relaxed. And I like it because I get to be part of the audience. So this is actually really cool. I want to take a moment and explain a little bit how this evening is going to take place. I'm sure if you're from Fitchburg and Leominster, Lunenburg, you know Barbara Foster. And I pulled a little bit up on the internet, so be ready if I can read it, because it's very small. So we're going to give it a whirl. Anyway, we're pleased that you're with us tonight, Barbara. Barbara, she hosts the Barbara and You program, and it's been on the air for 40-plus years, and we're going to leave it at that. As I was reading here, Barbara stated that she feels blessed to do her program at FATV and appreciates it also being aired in Leominster, Sterling, and Lancaster.
And
That's an
now in
accomplishment.
Lunenburg now,
Now
too.
in Lunenburg. So that's, she's a little bit of everywhere. So her face is in everyone's living room. And we all get a kick out of it because she puts us on TV. She puts us on the spot. So what I want to say is, when we are trying to plan what to do with this volunteer dinner, and every year it seems like, what are we going to do to outdo the year before? So I remember going into the office, and I told everyone, what are we going to do to top a royal banquet? Because last year was a royal banquet, right? Then it dawned on me. Barbara always makes me feel very comfortable when I'm on TV, and I never thought I would say that. The first time I was scared to death. I think I had hives from my head to my toes. But when it was all said and done and the show was over, I felt very comfortable. So tonight, we're going to put people on the spot, and we're going to host the Barbara and You Show right here live, and you guys are the audience. So she's going to interview our staff. She's going to interview DHQ, EDS, and then there's going to be an award process through this. So when our staff member calls your name, you're to come up on stage, and Barbara's going to ask you a few questions, like, why do you volunteer? What is your motivation? And so on. I have no idea what she's going to ask you. But some of you are going to get to experience the hives from head to toe. Just so you know. Right? Okay, but you're going to like it. You're going to be like, wow, I was on TV, because they are recording, not to make you even more nervous. So, without further ado, I want to welcome Barbara. And I thank you for coming live to the Salvation Army Volunteer Appreciation Dinner. This is a community of encouragement, a community that comes together, and a community that gets things done. So I'm going to take the moment, and I'm going to turn this over to Barbara. But before I do that, I have 3 awards that I would like to hand out. So if I call, and you're the representative, if you could come up to the stage or meet with Carrie, and she's going to give you an award, and we would like to show our appreciation to you. First, Nate from FATV. I want to thank you, Nate, for everything that you do. If you can go over there and you come across this way. Yeah, I put you on the spot. I'm sorry. This is what's always fun. You can bring it up and present it, Carrie. The second person would be the person representing Minuteman Press. I'm not sure if they're here. I don't think so. But anyway, Minuteman Press does a lot for us. They do a lot of free printing. We have our programs and everything, and when I get the invoice, they say stamped paid. You know, those are blessings. Those are wonderful things that a community does for each other. So thank you to Minuteman Press. And then Sherman from the K-Zone. Could you come up and receive your award for the K-Zone? The lunchbox. They'll call me the day before and say, hey, Lynette, you want to go on the air? I'm like, yep, I'll be right over. You know, I just really want to show appreciation to our media, to our printing, because they help get the word out there of what the Salvation Army is doing, what we continue to do, and how we continue to serve a community with grace. And we want to just show appreciation and say thank you very much. Sherman, I never know what to expect when I get on the radio with you either. I know, but we make it happen, and it's awesome, and I thank you, and we thank you. Thanks. You're good. Yep, you're good.
Am I on?
And now, without hesitation, I'm going to turn the show over, the Barbara and You Show.
Wait a minute.
Welcome.
Dave was trying to tell you something.
Oh, whoa.
one more.
I did ask you to wait, right? Joe, can you come up, please, for PAC TV, the black one. Joe called me, and it was funny because FATV did the Central Journal interview, and then the next day, or then about 3 hours later, Joe did an interview with me. So I did 2 TV shows on the same day, and I remember walking in with Joe, and she said, are you ready? And I said, yes. Ready. And then I go, we're doing this one time. And we did, right? We nailed it. And
Lynette.
And you know, that's because FATV did 3 take. No, I'm just kidding. But no, you know, we really do appreciate everything that you do. And the Access TV and the communications in the media is so important and vital to getting what we do out in the community. I say thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
I was looking for your music, but we didn't get it. It didn't
Oh,
work.
my music?
Yeah,
Oh,
your
that's
music, but
okay.
I'm going to let you take over the show now, Barbara.
Well, thank you very much, and let me say that I am honored and humbled to be here. This lady, a long time ago, I didn't know what an envoy was. Well, now I know the envoy extraordinaire. And I told her she doesn't need me tonight. She could do what I'm going to do, but she said she wants to mingle with everybody. So sure, put the pressure on me, Lynette. But I would like everybody to show our appreciation to her and all that she does. What'd you forget? Did you leave something behind?
No, I have to move the podium so they can see the stage.
Oh, okay. So anyway, Lynette noticed and kind of teased me a little bit about my cheat sheets. It's my habit. If I have it written down, then I often do remember what I'm supposed to be doing. But the first group that we're going to talk with are the Emergency Disaster Services. And I haven't had a chance to meet these people yet. The director, Chris Ferrand, did I say that right? And Emily Mew, are they here? And will you come on up? And you are going to be sharing that handheld microphone, so you have to share with each other. Did I say your name right, Chris? I came close.
Perfect. Close enough. Good enough.
I'm finding that I am learning a lot about the Salvation Army. I thought I knew a lot about them, but there's so much that people don't know, so much that people don't see what goes on behind the scenes. Emergency Disaster Service sounds like it's self-explanatory, but I bet there's a lot more you can tell us about it.
It was the same for me. I've been with the Army for 12 years now, and initially I knew about kettles and cheap sofas for my college dorm room, and I've learned a ton. In disaster services, basically we have frontline resources. We're a part of the Federal Stafford Act, so we're actually written into the national plan to support disasters. And we have our mobile feeding units. We respond within an hour. Sometimes our phones go off, like they may go off while we're up here, so we get all the alerts across the state. And if there's a fire, then we respond and we support first responders, survivors with basic survival stuff, like they need food, hydration, blankets, socks, just to get them to a place of safety as the initial part of our disaster services. And then we support them through the entire process, all the way back to when they might have a home again. And then from there, one of the things we try and talk about is from houses to homes. So even when they're in a new building, we try and make it like a new home for them. So we support them through, and a lot of, again, fantastic people. Lynette and the team here are excellent examples of that work.
Okay, and Emily, I saw you quickly handed him the microphone. That doesn't mean that you don't want to talk to me, does it?
Kind of.
Kind of. Okay, let's see. I have to pose my question, so you can't give me one-word answers. How did you get involved with the disaster services?
Emily, flip it.
Like this?
Upside down.
Oh, Chris is tough.
You waited to tell her?
Oh, David.
Does this work better? Can you hear me? You didn't hear Chris, but now you can hear me. Right.
I said amazing things.
I hope that's not on TV. Cut that, please.
Well, I thought it was one of the strangest microphones I'd ever seen. Okay, now that all that's behind us.
So I've been with the Army for 6 years. I started in a different department called Service Extension. And in that department, we provided services, social services, to folks who lived outside of the communities that were served by Corps. So all of the sort of more rural areas. And while I was doing that, I got little by little involved with emergency disaster because I live in Western Mass. And so we didn't really have any significant presence in Western Mass with emergency disaster, well, we had canteens and we had teams, but we didn't have like a point person. So I got involved kind of helping Chris on occasion when there was disasters out in Western Mass, because they're not as frequent out there as they are in Eastern Mass. And then just through the love of doing that work, I was then able to move into this department to help with it full-time.
Well, and as you mentioned, Chris, people know disaster. You rush, there's an emergency, and you're there. But they don't think about what follows. Well, you've protected the people that evening, you've made them safe, whatever, but their lives are totally disrupted.
Absolutely, and we talk about like there's so much information out there now that you can have a disaster. We both just recently got back from Puerto Rico with the earthquakes, and being there when you're in buildings that are shaking as people are crying and traumatized and terrified and seeing their homes in rubble, and the story has moved on. And so even when you've gone there and the report comes up, 4 alarm fire, 2 displaced, you hear the story, and then like you said, these people lost everything. They're starting from scratch, building a whole new community, and that's where, again, the Salvation Army, it's not just, like we say, the physical piece is important, and we need that, but it's that compassionate presence of coming alongside and saying, we're committed to being with you. Whatever we can do, every part, and if we can't do it, we'll try and find someone we can, but we're gonna love you through this horrible time and hopefully make you stronger because we were there with Christ's love.
And I'd like to hear from both of you some of the really scary moments you've had, because I don't think everybody's emotionally capable of picking up and running off to save some people in an emergency.
Well, luckily, we don't go running into the burning buildings.
Okay.
We're not the,
Thank you for
we're like
clarifying
the
that.
second responders. We're not the first responders. So, but I mean, it is traumatizing. So, you know, even being on scene after something like that is scary because, you know, these people might be in their pajamas. You know, it might have happened in the middle of the night. In the case of Puerto Rico, you know, they're still experiencing the aftershocks and the tremors on a daily basis and talking to you about that. And I remember actually being in you know, I didn't feel any of the tremors. I was there a couple weeks after the first big one. But I remember one instance where I asked somebody to show me, their house was up on pillars, and they were cement pillars. Their house was cement pillars, and I asked somebody to show me the cracks in the pillars under their house. So they brought me under their house, and as soon as I walked, and I didn't think this was going to happen, as soon as I walked under their house, I immediately got nervous because the shocks were happening, the aftershocks were happening multiple times a day. And my thought was, oh my God, what if the big one happens right this minute? Mm-hmm. And that's what people were living with every day, constantly for weeks, which is why they were living in tents in shelters outside of their homes. So,
And Chris, do you have a story you want to share?
I remember probably the first one was the Springfield tornadoes from back in the day, and I remember deploying to that. That was my first major disaster, and I remember a couple follow-up days after that seeing the storm clouds start to form again a little bit, and there are those moments where your heart, it literally says, I don't know if I'm going to make it. Having to evacuate buildings in Puerto Rico when you're in different locations. I was in Haiti after the earthquakes, and more on the human side, one of our trucks flipped in the mountains with all of our food supplies, and within 10 minutes, there was no one to be seen. The truck was surrounded as people were prying open the doors to get food because they were such in need. And I remember we were hiding on top of the truck, hoping for help. And so it's a crazy job, and I think people that say yes are a little bit crazy, and we have Corps officers that are awesome that do this work that are a little bit crazy, and without all that crazy, we wouldn't be able to do this great work. So I'm thankful for the crazy, and it's a powerful ministry opportunity.
And you have some awards to present tonight.
Yes, we do.
Do you have the names, or am I supposed to read those?
We can read them.
You know who they
Yeah.
are.
So first, we want to give a special award to Dave McDonald. And it's not just one, it's 2 awards. So I hope you brought your award-carrying backpack. And honestly, this job, I know you hear it all the time, but it's true. I cover the entire state. There's 2 of us that manage every disaster in the state. So there's no EDS without volunteers. and great volunteers that no matter what, I call Dave no matter when, and he goes. And if I say, hey, we think we might have to go, he's like, I'm ready, send me. I'm like, well, we don't know if we're needed. I don't care, I want to go. And that's the kind of volunteer you want. He served with me all over the state and beyond. So I'm sincerely grateful, both from myself, for the department, from the Corps, and just to recognize your amazing commitment. So we have an award here from, this is from the Fitchburg Corps, just a recognition of his involvement with disaster services. And then a divisional award from Massachusetts that's both from Emily and I, just recognize his incredible commitment and stand out as a volunteer. God, thank you, brother.
I would just also like to say that I also call Dave's wife in the middle of the night, so thank you to her as well.
First of all, I just want to say thank you to everybody for what we do here. And we can't do it alone. We need you. But one thing I can tell you, a real story. Chris, I really enjoy working with Chris. And after tonight, after he had the microphone upside down, now I know why. Now I know why he drives to the emergencies backwards, but that's okay. I understand that now. But one thing I just want to say, we do what we do because we care. And a lot of people look at us and say, you want to be a fireman or something. No. We want to go and help the families. Our first priority is to help the families like we did in Reading the other day. We're there to serve the firefighters. We're there the first responders. But you got to give back. And giving back, I got beautiful friends all here tonight, and thank you for all of what you do. But you give back to the community. You give back to people who need you. And as a child, I needed it. And that's why I'm here tonight, because as a child, I got the Salvation Army. It's not just the Salvation Army, though. It's the feeling of giving back. It's the feeling of being part of the community. It's a feeling of giving help to the mayor of Fitchburg, mayor of Leominster, the town council in Lunenburg, the children especially. So again, all the people who helped us, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. And Barbara, thank you.
And then just really quick, in the division, we have a lot of canteen teams. As we know with volunteers, there's different levels of commitment and availability and work. And just for a special recognition for the Fitchburg whole EDS team, I want to ask Lynette to come up. And anyone that's on the Fitchburg EDS team, please stand right now. If you're a part of response, if you've deployed, if you've trained, there's a number of you here. And to Dave's point, it wouldn't work without you. And this is getting up at 2 a.m. and working for 12 hours. And so again, just a special divisional award to your whole team that we will keep in the Fitchburg Corps. So God bless and thank you all as well. Thank you. Thank you, sister.
And there are community partner awards.
That's the next one.
Actually, can I go ahead? The Community Partner Awards, the people that are receiving the awards were not able to come tonight. And one of the community partners was Olive Garden. When we're out here doing this, and I will share with you this brief story. I'm in Ohio. I was on vacation. There's a huge fire. Brindy calls. We're going. Okay, great. It's moving and rolling, rock and rolling without Lynette there, and this is what it's about. Our team is ready to go, right? Lynette, can you get us food? Okay, I'm sitting in a hotel room. I called Olive Garden. We fed how many people, Dave? 100, 150? Olive Garden supplied the food. I made another phone call to Pizza King. They're amazing. They give us food for our programs, pizza to feed the kids, and they love it. You guys love the pizza, right? So those are the community partners that I'm talking about. They will drop anything to help us, and I'm really grateful for that, and I say thank you to them.
Thank you. Just leave it on. And the next department we're going to talk about is Social Services, and Director Debbie Andujar. Would you please join me? Where are you, Debbie? You over there? And let me tell you, I made a brief stop here this afternoon. You can come any way you want to come.
Yeah, just watch out for the cord.
Well, I'll see if I can get somebody for you, Deb. But I was here briefly this afternoon just to see how the setup was. And this gal and Maggie and Lynette and Paul, David too, I'm not going to name names because you leave somebody out. But there were so many people working and making this all possible tonight. And are you exhausted? No. I think there's some secret potion that the Salvation Army must have that everybody's filled with energy.
It's
Gotta do it.
It's a love for people and
Yes.
and love for what you do. And put that mic, it's right side up, but we'll just hold it a little closer to your mouth. But,
Is it wrong?
no, you're perfect.
You're good now.
Yeah,
I'm good.
yeah. We're just, Chris is never going to hear the end of it, but, no pun intended. But I don't want to assume that, I mean, most people here know more about the Salvation Army than I do. But if I had no idea what social services means, what would you tell me?
Okay, so social services is we're a church, but within our church, we reach out to the community. And social services offers different programs, different activities, and just different things for the community. And in that, we service, we help people if they're in need of food, if they're in need of shelter, if they need your utilities paid, we help with that also. And if you are homeless and you need to come in and stay warm, or we offer that also. Sorry, I'm trying to think everything that we offer. But we're there. If you come, whatever it is that your need is, so it's kind of hard when you say, what is it that you offer? Because if you come in and you tell me, this is what I need, then that is what we are going to try to help you with.
And how did you get involved with this line of work?
So I actually came as a volunteer. Isn't that how everybody comes? I started volunteering. My children started coming and attending. They were opening, I believe it was the first year, they were opening a program for kids, because the mayor back then had come in and said, we have parents who are calling and saying they have nowhere to put their kids. Well, there's no school, their kids are home. Now they can't go shopping because bills are higher when your kids are home. So it's kind of harder to take your kids shopping when you're on a budget. So they were looking for places to bring their kids while they did their chores, went to the doctors, whatever. And we said, well, maybe we can open for a couple of hours. And also we found that people were having a need of food, not enough food, because the kids get free lunches at school. And so we said, hey, let's see what we can do. The Parks Department were opening up recs and different places, parks where they can come and get meals. And we said, hey, we have a building, we have a kitchen, and we have people who are willing to work. So we opened up a summer fun program, and it was called Time Out when we first started, because we felt it was time out for the parents, not for the kids. So that's how we first started, and that's, I was volunteering for, I want to say, 6 years before I got hired. And then I finally said, listen, I can't stay here unless you pay me. Family situations change. And so I said, so they said, oh, maybe there's some money in the budget to give you something. And then I was very fortunate, though. Can I talk about who I'm giving awards to now?
Yes,
Okay.
you are giving awards. You have
I'm rattling on because just.
3 awards to give.
Okay, so-
But you can keep rattling, we're
Okay,
fine.
so when I first started volunteering, I want to say there was one other person who kind of started at the same time I did. We have kids the same age, so she came along also and she started volunteering side of me. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not doing this by myself. And hey, you got a kid, I got a kid, we live in the same town, we can all, let's all do this together. When we first opened up a program, I want to say there were 3 kids and our kids. That's who came to the program the very first day that we opened. But it's been growing, and we've had, years where you have maybe 60 kids coming, and then you have years where you have 50, or, it just fluctuates, because when they get to a certain age, they don't want to any longer come. But we grandfather them in so they can come and help.
Oh.
So we're smart, we keep them. So that's one of my volunteers who's been coming. And then I had another volunteer who came in and said, hey, I'm looking to do some volunteering. And she's also been with me for very many years too. And she started coming in. She was, what can I help with? She started with the food pantry, and then she started coming in and working with the Summer Fun kids. We acclimated her. We didn't want to scare her off. And she started reading to the kids, and then she stayed with us also and continued for many years. The one thing you need to know with the Salvation Army is that no one wears one hat. So no matter what you come to do with us, trust and believe that that is not the only thing you're going to do. We get you in and we say, come on in, and we love you. And when they love us back, we get them. And they can't leave us. But like I said, these ladies have worn many hats. They've done many different things in our building. And I mean, we've had one of them who's even had to wear a red nose. So trust me, whatever the job calls, whatever the need is, we're very fortunate that through all the years that I've been here, all different kinds of volunteers come through our doors and do all different things.
Well, I can tell that you love what you do, and you have a special heart for the children.
I do.
Yes. And those awards, we would like to have those people come up.
Okay.
Do you want to give their names, or do you want me to?
Oh, you can if you want to.
Well, Jean Soar, if you would come up, she's getting her.
Can I stand?
Yeah, you can stand up and give them their awards. And this is a Years of Service Award.
Yes.
So,
Don't say how many.
that was my next question.
We raised our kids together. That's enough.
You're the one she was talking about.
Yes.
And when we first started, you were allowed to discipline other people's kids.
You were.
So she would say, hey.
I'd say, I know your mother.
And it was okay with me.
And I just said yesterday, I still have little trinkets from her daughter when she was this big, who is now graduating college, and So, yeah, we've been around.
For a few years, okay. I've got it on all of you anyway. I'm older than anybody else here. So, Jean, why don't you just take that microphone and just tell me, did you just do this as a favor to your friend Debbie?
No, I didn't know Debbie.
Oh.
Actually, a friend of mine in the neighborhood said, my kids are going to the Salvation Army for Sunday school. Do you want yours to go too? Said, not a bad idea. So I had to go and check it out, of course, and that's where we met. And I figured, if I'm going to be lucky enough to have them take my children on a regular basis, I suppose I should probably help out a little bit. So over the years, I've done all kinds of things. But recently, in the past 15 years or so, I've been doing American Sign Language at the church.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, so that we advertise it weekly. I don't know if anyone knows, but that if you know anyone that is deaf who needs American Sign Language and they'd like to go to a church, we offer it for free every week.
Well, that's great.
So-
Keep up the good work.
Thank you. And I wouldn't have even known it if I didn't come to the Salvation Army, because a person at church taught me, saying, I'll teach you for free if you promise to sign at church on Sundays. I thought, I'll never be that good. Okay, that's a good deal. Yeah, I've been signing at church for about 15 years.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
And our next recipient is Elizabeth Swenson, who is also getting a Years of Service Award. And did you tell us a little bit about her earlier?
Yes.
Is Elizabeth here?
So I just want to say, these two ladies are volunteers, but they're family now.
Family. So Jean is helping, saying, hey, I had to go up, you have to go up there too. Jean, you can get the next one ready too.
Here's the mic.
I don't need a mic.
You don't need a mic?
No,
I've got an acting background, and I can
You know how to
project.
project. Well, that's why maybe why you look familiar to me. Have you been in some of the local theater groups?
Gardner, Wachusett,
Oh, yeah, Mount Wachusett,
A lot.
yeah.
With children's theater, with comedy, with drama, with musicals, and, yeah.
I've seen you on the stage, I'm sure.
Really?
But why and how did you get involved with the Salvation Army?
Okay. Oh, is it off? Is it off? No, okay.
My mic is what?
Oh.
David, help.
Okay, why did I get involved? Let's see, I don't remember how I first started.
Well, you have to
Debbie.
talk till my microphone gets fixed, so go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to figure out how well, I guess I've always been active everywhere. And so I guess I had been working, well, I worked for Manpower. In fact, remember,
I did,
you have a radio show or something?
a TV show.
A TV show? Okay. And was it Phyllis? Was that her name? Who was the one that was in charge of the secretaries of all that?
Oh, Phyllis Gramont.
With, because I did
She
some
was on my
temporary
show.
work.
She
I
was
did
on my
some
show.
temp work, and she wanted me to be one of them because I got a special award for Manpower temp, and she wanted me to be on the show or something. I said, no, I don't think so.
Oh, but you can act on the stage.
Excuse me?
But you can act on the stage.
Oh,
But
yeah,
you-
but I'm okay now.
You're okay now? Now, the question was, how and why did you get involved with the Salvation Army?
I know, I'm still trying to figure that out.
Came in, there was an article, we're looking for volunteers.
Oh, that's what it was, right, in the
Yes.
Gardner News.
Yes.
There was an article looking for volunteers, and I have volunteered somewhere, everywhere, since I was in my 20s. When I lived in New York City, the first thing I volunteered at was I was reading on Saturdays at a church to a blind man. And so I've always loved to do that. So anyway, so they wanted volunteering. And I had been working at the IRS seasonally only in the evenings. So I had the whole summers off anyway and stuff. So I answered the ad. And who was it? Steve, I think, was the first one that I met outside there. He was the cook then, I think. I was nervous, though, because I was the only one that wasn't Puerto Rican. Right, and whatever. Anyway, it's been wonderful. I just really loved it, and so I joined in the summer program, and did all my reading. Story lady. I do that at nursing homes too now, and so I'm just having a great time. And the thing is, I've done everything on my bucket list. God has blessed me so. God has blessed me so I can be a blessing to others, and I really believe that's the way we should be. Right?
Beautifully said. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Love you. Love you too. It's a good thing she likes Puerto Ricans.
And then we have the Community Partner Award for Lucas American Kitchen. Do we have a recipient here for that award?
Can I say a little bit?
Of course you can. Tell us. Go
So
ahead.
I just want to say that we've been very fortunate also because this family and their mother, the nephews, everyone involved in this family has also been a part of the Salvation Army for many years. And because of that, we're very fortunate that this restaurant has been able to donate to us fresh vegetables and fruit for the summer for our program. And we just want to say thank you for that.
So I want to hear a little bit about the two of you. Are you sisters?
Oh, that's so cute.
I'm mom.
Really? Well, I did see a family resemblance, but you could be her sister. You look young enough to be her
Thank you
sister.
very much. You suddenly made me feel very comfortable.
See, Linda, told you I would do that. So tell us about why you're so generous in helping out the Salvation Army.
So we're a family-owned restaurant, and food is really our life. It provides, for my family, and we're very fortunate. You know, growing up, our whole life was revolved around food. We would have family dinner every night, and it was a necessity, and you would help everyone cook, and you would clean up, and you would sit as a family and talk about your day, and that was our family time. You know, everyone was busy with work or school or sports or other hobbies, and food was the only time we got to be a family. So for us, food is family, and it's really important for us now that we have what we have to be able to give back. And you know, she says it best, if we're not able to feed our community as a restaurant, then why are we doing what we're doing? We're doing something wrong. Yeah, if we don't.
Well, I appreciate and I'm amazed at your generosity, but how do you both stay so trim if food is so important?
I know.
You both look great.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We're extremely humbled by this award. You know, I'm sure that there are so many recipients that deserve something like this, but we are really humbled.
Well, you're deserving.
Thank you.
You're deserving.
Thank you.
I just want to say that this family has been donating before the restaurant existed. So this is not something new for them. So this is an award that you absolutely deserve, and your family does deserve this award.
Thank you. And thank you, Deb. And you can, whichever, you can stay for the next scout coming up.
Well, I'm
or
not
you-
asking you.
Oh, you're not. Watch the background story. Our next director is Maggie Ramos, who runs the Bridging the Gap program. And I want Maggie to come on up. And why Deb said she wasn't asking me is because I had a conversation with these two this afternoon. They were very nervous about coming on the
I
air.
have anxiety, guys, so please put the bags over your head.
Well, now I got to tell that story.
You promised.
But first of all, Deb, if you notice, doesn't have any problem talking. So you did really well, Deb. And I was trying to convince Maggie that this would be easy. Just look at me. There's no people out there. She was still nervous. And I said, okay, I'm going to bring a stack of paper bags, and I'm going to tell everybody to put a bag on their head so you won't feel self-conscious.
Yes.
Well, I lost with bags on my way here. They blew out the window. What can I say? So, Maggie, I'm going to ask you the one question I'm allowed to ask you. Right? You said you could talk forever about this. Tell me what Bridging the Gap is all about.
So Bridging the Gap is a program that helps at-risk teens. It's a 12-week program. We teach life skills, which it's from self-esteem, goal setting, all the way down to STDs. We have family meals, because it's important for them to have that, because some of them don't. Then we just go into the topic, and I don't know, I'm stumped. I'm sorry. I love this program, I really do, and it means a lot to me to make a difference in these kids' lives, because when I grew up, they didn't have something like this, and I just want to see them succeed.
But you're a very young woman to be working with teenagers.
Well, thank you. I still think I'm
And her
28.
birthday's tomorrow.
Oh, well, happy birthday.
Bad enough that I have to be up here.
Well, look, you gave her permission to stay on the set. That was
Yeah.
very funny
Yeah.
when I thought she was
Yeah.
asking me, and she was looking at you. Can I stay here? Because I told her this would give her moral support.
Yes, I
But,
needed that.
How long have you been doing this? Helping?
7 years.
You've been with this program 7 years.
Yes.
And you said it's rewarding to you to feel like you're helping
Yes,
these
it
teenagers.
does.
And it was interesting hearing the previous recipients talk about the importance of their family dinners. And I think that doesn't happen in homes as often as
they
it
don't.
used to.
No.
So you
I
find
mean, I had kids come in and tell me that they're hungry because, you know, their parents are out working or doing whatever, and they come home, they come after school to the program, and they just love the fact that I cook for them and sit down with them and let them vent their day, tell me their goods and their bads, and just let them be teenagers and not have to go home and be the adult for their other siblings or go home hungry.
Well, lots of compliments to you if you can get a teenager to say more than How was your day? Good. What did you do? Nothing.
Oh,
They talk to you.
oh my God, they talk to me a lot. They tell me everything, the reason why they were there, and then they'll change, they'll say, the things that I done, I'm learning from them, because I told them, it's not about what bad things you did, it's like you learn from consequences, right? So there's good and bad, so you just gotta learn from them and grow from them, right?
Now, you said you've been there 7 years with this program?
7 years. I started at first because of Debbie needed an assistant for summer fun. So
Bring him in and
So I started with summer fun first, and then I heard about Bridging the Gap because I was going to college for human services. I grew up in a tough time. Like, I was that at-risk teen that, I shouldn't be here right now. I should be like in jail because of the stuff I've done. I didn't have that home support or anything like that. So I went into human services because I wanted to help teenagers and I just wanted them to be kids because I couldn't have that when I was younger.
Do you share your personal story with the teens that come to see you?
Yes, I feel like life experiences, you teach them with that instead of something out of a book, because they can learn from that.
And how did you rise above your background if you said you didn't have anybody to help you like you helped these teens?
Well, I ended up having a baby, so I didn't want my kid to go through what I've done, what I've gone through, so I wanted to make a difference for her, and that's what changed me. But of course, I don't tell the kids that, because I don't want them to, but I just tell them that, you just have to just believe in yourself and believe that you can make a difference in the world.
Do you believe in yourself right now?
Not right now when I'm up here and people are staring at me, but yes.
That was the point of my question. But it's not as bad as you thought it would be, and you're doing an excellent job, right?
I think so.
You think so?
Yes.
We think so.
But yeah, I love my job and I love my kids, and that's why I'm still here.
But I really appreciate the fact that Deb came after me as I was about to leave and said, we have to talk to you. Lynette said we're going to have to get up on the stage and say something, and it was so nice that we had a chance to visit with each other earlier today. And then when I got here, I was looking for the both of them, thinking, I want to go over and tell them, now don't worry, everything's going to be fine. I'm looking at all the tables, I couldn't find them. They're over there putting out the cupcakes. And like Deb says, you do a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah, we have many hats, like she says.
Yeah.
We do everything.
Yeah, and you have an award today for the Community Partnership Award?
Yes, UINC. UINC is they do therapy up in Gardner. So it's an organization that helps teens as well, and they believe in our program, so they allow us to have one of their rooms so we can help kids in Gardner as well. So I wanted to recognize them for that, because it's been 9 years that they've been given this room for free.
Oh,
So,
and it's great.
yeah.
I don't believe we have a recipient here from UINC.
No,
Is there
I
anybody here
don't-
from
I
UINC?
don't see anyone here from
Okay,
UINC.
so I know you'll make sure
So
to.
do you want to accept it?
Thank you so much. I just want to say that,
I'll hold it.
okay, UINC has actually, they used to come to our building. So it was really, really nice. They used to send a therapist. We used to do activities and games with the kids. That's how we first started with them. And it was really nice when they offered their site for classes, because their transportation is always an issue. And when you have kids who may not have a meal, they're definitely not going to have transportation to come to a program. And these kids come from all different places. Anyone can say, you know what, my child is having difficulties in school. Maybe this program would be a wonderful program for them. And they come, Maggie does an intake with them, and she'll assess and say, okay, I think we'll be a good match for you. Come in and see what we're like. And I want to say that the kids come in and they love her automatically. And I think it's because she's honest with them.
I don't sugarcoat anything. I just tell it like it is, because I think that's what they have to hear. Like, I feel like people just like, it's okay, you just robbed a bank or something, you know what I mean? And you're saying it's okay? No, it's not
don't have
okay.
any robbing
No, we
bank
don't, we
kids.
don't, I'm sorry. We don't. But you know what I mean? Like, you're throwing chairs in a school, or you're breaking into something, and, it's not okay.
Or you're disrespecting your mom.
Yes.
We get a lot of those kids.
Yes.
And you just, like you said, you tell them like it is.
Yes.
And
And I
they-
tell them from the beginning when the intake, I mean, I'm gonna tell you like it is, you respect me, I respect you, and then we can go from there.
Well, it seems to be working,
Yeah.
and God bless you both for the
Thank
work
you.
that you're doing.
Okay, hopefully I have a trip. There are some success stories back there and some flyers and stuff.
Okay, thank you. And I think you two are the dynamic duo. And then I'm learning a lot of things here tonight, and I love the fact that I think everybody in this room has a good sense of humor. We're having some good laughs along with everything else. And our next program that we're going to mention is the Music Mentoring Program. And that Ann Rich is the Assistant Music Director for the Massachusetts Division. And she came all the way from Canton to be with us tonight. I said you came all the way from Canton.
I came all the way from Canton. Before that, I came from Eastham on the Cape.
Wow.
Before that, I came from my parents.
Well, I know.
Before that, I came from Jesus. Thank you for having us all.
And she's very shy and quiet.
No, she's not.
But I enjoyed some conversations we had at the dinner table.
I did as well.
And you
Thank
have
you.
a very interesting background, and you are so multi-talented.
Well, you're very kind. Thank you. I also do windows.
Oh, good. Let's talk about that. But in the meantime, tell these folks all the instruments you help kids with. And
Well, we have in Massachusetts, we're blessed to have a tremendous director of music, Mr. Matthew Lund, and he played with the Boston Pops and the Symphony. And we're blessed to have him, and I am his assistant. So in the Salvation Army, music is a priority for us. We believe that to inspire young people and adults to learn an instrument, doesn't matter whether it's brass, guitar, drums, percussion, creative writing, dance. Bet you didn't know we did that when you saw the kettle, did you? But we do, and we train our young people from all walks of life and our adults who want to learn an instrument or to play, or cornet.
Is that what Lynette plays?
She's learning cornet. She's doing very well. That inspires them. We have a young girl, her name is Jada from the Fitchburg Corps, who started off playing the euphonium. I don't know how many know. You know what a euphonium looks like?
Tell us.
Yes. She loves this instrument. It's as big as she is. She plays this in her middle school. She is outstanding with her band director. She's won awards there. She goes to our summer camps for music conservatory. This girl, you will see from Fitchburg, will someday be playing with an orchestra. I guarantee it. Her love and her passion for music changes her life, her family's life. Jade is a wonderful girl.
Your experience in your career, you've learned to recognize the students like that you think will really exceed.
I think all children will exceed if they're given the opportunity and the right foundation to be able to grow and to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Some of that is a lot of listening. You know, it's not just, we shared about different piano teachers that we've had, and I can still see mine walking down the sidewalk for my lesson, and I wondered what other kids did other than have to practice the piano. You know, she would just come up and she had a long wool coat and heavy boots, and she'd come in and say, left hand, you need to do the left hand. I'm like, I don't want to do the left hand. But we make opportunities for children to shine, and they do.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
And
blessing.
Lynette, you're involved in this program quite a bit yourself.
I am. I didn't want to be. No, I am. I, if anyone knows me from my childhood, I wanted nothing to do with music. I love music. I like listening to the radio, listening to people who are talented. But if it came to a brass instrument, I'm not putting nothing up on the lips. And I cannot do this. It's not going to work. Well, when these kids came into our program, I decided I got to do something. So to motivate them, I remember the first day we sat in a circle and we got these mouthpieces. And I said, if I can do it, you can do it. But I don't know how to do it. But I'm going to learn to do it so I can teach you to do it. And we sat right there on that floor, and we made sounds. And now those
Interesting sounds.
interesting duck sounds. What do you call it? I got to work on this lip. I'm still trying. But anyway, now the kids are making music. So as an adult, we don't say we can't. We got to say we will. Because it won't go on any further if we don't teach these kids the gift of music. So no one is too old to learn, and I'm going to be that example, because I am making music, and I'm loving every second with these kids. And I thank Ann, because she comes every other week and works with them. So we have something very much to be proud of in Fitchburg.
And Ann, you cover quite a territory.
I do. It shrunk some over the years. I've been 17 years working in the music department, and but we do. I'd have everything from down in Hyannis up to Newburyport, out to North Adams, to the Fitchburg Corps. And I bet you didn't know, this is what we do. We share music. We have a wonderful brass band, a Massachusetts Divisional Brass Band. And our gift is to love people through the gift of music.
But your scheduling must be difficult to map out where you're going to be when. And
It can be, but I'm thankful I have a wonderful director who makes sure that everything's right on point and we get where we need to. He handles his areas, and I work to support whatever is done in our department for the Salvation Army.
And Lynette said, did you say she comes every other week out our way?
Yes, she does. She comes every other week. So you're probably wondering what the other 2 weeks are about. That would be Herb White. He helps. We teach theory, and then they do singing. And we actually are going to perform at Star Search in, about a month?
Yes.
Little over a month. So we're preparing for that now, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So maybe we'll come back with large trophies like last year. So it's exciting. Kids are doing it.
This is something you've done before, and you came back with trophies.
Yeah, we got 2 trophies last year.
That's fabulous. And Herb White has more talents than I know about.
Oh,
I've
yeah, he
known
does.
him for a long time. But
Yeah, he does. He can play euphonium pretty well.
Aha.
Baritone, euphonium, both.
Both. What's your major instrument, Ann?
Oh my, probably guitar. If I said I
really?
had a favorite, yes. But I play a few of them. I get around on a few.
Quite a few, I take it.
A few.
And you made it through those piano lessons and the practicing.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. Yep.
Did you have a choice?
Well, as soon as I could stop the piano lessons, I was thankful. But as soon as I started with the Salvation Army, they had a need for a pianist. So I was very thankful for those lessons. And my son, who is an orchestra director now, says, "Why didn't you teach me the piano, Mom?" I said, "Because it's brass. I need you to learn brass." And so, yeah.
And I'm going to let you take a minute and brag about your son.
My son Elijah is 27 years old. He's a high school music teacher in New Bedford, Mass. He's sang with this Tanglewood Festival Chorus. He is a youth director, youth orchestra leader for the South Shores Conservatory. But he started in the Salvation Army. He started coming and doing music mentoring programs, which is what I do around the state. And he was teaching. When you train a child in an instrument and they turn around and they teach the next generation that's coming up or someone who doesn't know, they become a leader. They become an influencer in their school, in their home, wherever they go. And he was one of those young men who would come with Mom and start teaching theory and start helping somebody with a brass instrument or percussion. At one point, we had an 80-year-old drummer and a 7-year-old drummer. Wow. You know, and they both all got lessons from Elijah because Mom couldn't teach everyone. So I'm very blessed to watch him have a love and a passion for music, and more importantly, a love and passion for the Salvation Army and for the Lord Jesus Christ. That makes a good man out there teaching our kids, and no matter what the environment is.
And you showed me a little video of
Yes,
what he's doing.
thank you so much. It's very kind. My son is over in the Czech Republic and leading an orchestra over there, and he has been on tour with them, so he's on his way home now and sent Mom a video, so Mom was all excited. I still go to his concerts and cry.
And you do have an award to give.
I do. Would you hold this for me?
And this is for Willow Hartley. Is Willow here?
Well, yep. I'm going to call her up in just a second, if I
Okay.
may. I have a little thing to share, if I could. We've all felt it, the unexplainable shift that happens when you're listening to music. or the sheer force of a room full of people in a live concert being their authentic selves. Few things in this world are as powerful as music. It's the driving force behind culture and community. It motivates us, it empowers us, it accepts us, it changes us. But being impacted by music is an incredible experience. Learning how to be an influencer is an even better one. As the Assistant Music and Gospel Arts Director of Massachusetts, I have the pleasure of knowing this young musician for 3 years. She is thoughtful, kind, and a wonderful budding musician. I'm so proud to recognize her achievement on her instrument. This musician and all of her family are assets to the music programs in her corps and the wonderful example of the music mentoring program here in the Salvation Army Massachusetts Division. This student successfully demonstrates leadership ability by being a junior mentor and helping other new cornet players and prospective students to the core music program. Willow has also been a part of our music programs during our summer music camps in Sharon, Mass., our music conservatories, and junior music conservatory. This kind of mentoring giving back is foundational to our program here in Fitchburg. This carries through to all phases of her life and school. And it is this, and for this reason, that on behalf of the Salvation Army Music Department, I present this Outstanding Achievement Award to Miss Willow Hartley.
Oh my goodness!
Willow, come over here.
Willow, may I ask, I haven't asked one person tonight how old they are. May I ask you how old you are? How old are you?
9.
9 years old? Oh my goodness, I am so impressed. And thank you, Anne, for giving us all that background. And then I was expecting some, svelte 25-year-old maybe. And this 9-year-old, and I love your name, Willow, by the way. And could you pretend she's not around, but can you tell me if what kind of a music teacher she is?
Brass.
Is she good? Yeah. What have you learned from her?
A lot.
What were we talking about earlier where it was Maggie that said she could get the teens talking to her, and I'm used to kids that give one-word answers. But so what do you see in the future for this young lady?
This young lady could be anything and anyone she wants to be. You see how quiet she is? You watch her on her instrument, you watch her when she wants to help and support in the music. She gives and gives and gives. She's going to be one tremendous musician.
Willow, where do you go to school?
Turkey Hill.
Turkey Hill. What grade are you in?
3rd.
3rd. And do you have music classes at school also?
Yeah, but I don't. I play a recorder.
Okay.
In school.
A lot of kids start out with the recorder, don't they? I think a lot of my kids start out with the recorder.
That's in school. That's the
Yeah.
foundational instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she has gone well beyond that.
Yes, look, she's up there too.
Okay, I haven't been able to see all of the pictures, but thank you so much and congratulations on getting that special award tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, I have to tell you, Anne inspired me by reading that beautiful piece that she read. And I have a favorite quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. And I think I should tell you tonight because I'm seeing it and hearing it acting out in this room. But Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote, "Rings and jewels are not gifts, but mere apologies for gifts. The only true gift is a portion of thyself." And that's what I'm seeing in all you people. And I said, I'm honored and humbled to be here because you are all doing marvelous, marvelous things. Now, we're going to talk about, I've heard you say this, Lynette, before, that people think of the red kettles and Christmas and they kind of think, well, that's Salvation Army. But there's so much more that people don't know about, and you're going to talk about the Thanksgiving and Christmas 2019 Red Kettle campaign.
Right.
And we opened this program with you, so we're going to kind of finish this program with you. May I stay, or do you want me to get out of the way?
No, you got to stay right there. I'm going to stand because I brought these up here to
Okay.
hand out. So I have some awards to give out. And they're actually our Red Kettle Awards. They're our end of the season. And I'm going to tie up the evening with the appreciation of volunteer. And first, I want to tell you thank you. You did
my
a
pleasure.
wonderful job
My pleasure.
with your interviews. You always make everybody feel comfortable.
Thank you.
As you know, the kettle season can be really stressful, okay? When we're sitting there and we're deciding, okay, what does the community need? What have we given to the community? Where are we going with this? How much money do we have to raise? Those are all questions that are seared up when we're putting this campaign together. So they ask me, what's our goal? I set the goal. I went on the K-Zone. I was on TV. I was letting everybody in this community know what is our goal. And our goal was $90,000. Now, mind you, I was very nervous. I was nervous because Thanksgiving came early, right? Or late, whichever. It came late. We lost a whole week of kettle time. We lost 7 bell ringing days. What does that do to a campaign? Let me tell you. A lot of the division didn't hit their goal, but it's not that they didn't do their job, okay? They were short on days. So we're already a week shy. My bell ringers back there, you guys know they all worked really, really hard. My all faithfuls, everybody, every single day rang faithfully. The snow came. So we lost a day. Then we lost 2 days. When we lost that 3rd snow day, I felt defeated. But there was another plan, and it's called a blessing. The blessings came. A community pulled together. And I'm proud to tell you, with all the bell ringing, the late hours, the putting on the coat and going and standing at the bell, or the kettles and ringing, paid off. But so we exceeded our 90,000. We were worried that we weren't going to make it. We exceeded it, but we didn't exceed it by 10,000. We collected $114,000. So that's the excitement of everyone in this room pulling together, a community collaborating, putting on the coat and going out and doing your job even when you're tired. And as my sister said, she goes, "You're dead dog tired, girl." And you know what? It all pays off. Because we can all be dead dog tired sometimes. But we can still get back up and take care of a community that needs taken care of. So I say thank you. Thank you beyond measure. So I'm going to get the show started again. We're going to move right along. The Top Bell Ringer Award, Dorothea Babineau. When you come up, if you could just stand right here on the stage, okay? Come around this way. Yep. Can you? Will you hand them and send them over? I have another award. If you want to come up on the stage and just walk across, that would be amazing. This is a different award, and this is a family award, and we've never done it. If you want to walk right across, I'm going to send everybody across. We're going to get a group picture. I'm going to step out of the spotlight there. This is the family award, and I've never done this before, and I'm going to tell you why I did it. This family is amazing. This is their 2nd year. And I made a phone call, and Justine said yes. And she brought her children. And I don't know if you guys saw the video last year. She was doing something like this. Right? Ringing the bell. So I'm going to ask if the Rice family and their children can come up, please. Okay.
If you guys can walk across there, I've got something really special for the kids. Justine, this is for you for always being there and saying yes. Very much appreciated. And Dad, you got Salvation Army background, right? Yes, he does. Okay, so I make a phone call to Ohio. I said, I have these 3 kids that rang the bell. I go, I want to do something. I don't want to give them a piece of paper that they're going to roll up and throw in the trash. So my friend, being this wonderful crocheter, she made me gold, silver, and bronze crown earmuffs. So when you're ringing that bell next year, you guys can wear your crowns, okay? So I'm going to crown you. Is that okay?
Oh, that is so cute. That is so cute.
Okay. All of you know that I have a special place in my heart for our veterans. Always will. I have an uncle who was a prisoner of war. My brother's a Marine. I wanted to go into the Air Force, and I got denied. But that's okay, because look where I am. I'm wearing Salvation Army uniform, and it's all the same to me. It's an Army, but this one's all faithful. So I'm going to present the William Booth Faithful Service Award to Larry McNeil for the veterans. You're wonderful. Thank you for your service and continued support for the Salvation Army. You have to stand right there. Okay. Here we go. This is the battle between the clubs. And we were sitting around the table like, which club won? Karen? I'm going to present the top kettle or Club Kettle Award to the Fitchburg Rotary. I couldn't tell you won. All right, we're almost done, guys. Now, this award, when I first got to Fitchburg, I'm like, what are we going to do? Like, I didn't have a list. I know kettle season was 1 month from when I got here. I'm like, what are we going to do? Where am I going to get the bell ringers? What's going to happen? Well, I went out in the community a little bit, and the only thing I knew to do was what my sister taught me in Akron, Ohio. You go looking. So guess what? I went up to Fitchburg State. I marched right into the baseball, where the baseball team was. I introduced myself. It was Coach Barnaby. He goes, what do you need? I told him. I said, I'm going to have a kettle orientation. If you can have any of your baseball teams just come, maybe ring a couple hours a night. I was just like, I was being like, whatever you can do, honestly, right? He's like, we can beat that. He goes, how about if my baseball team does all of their community service and rings for the last 2 weeks of November? Not only did they just ring the last 2 weeks of November, they ring at every single location for Market Basket, every single day. Community service. So I'm going to ask all 5 of you if you could come up, and we're going to give the Community Service Award to the Fitchburg State baseball team. Way to go. This is amazing, right? Well, now we have the last bell ringing award, and this is the ongoing award, boom, right? So it was very close to who was going to get the top kettle award. This award goes to the group, club, organization that raised the most money. And I am pleased, very pleased, to announce that the Fitchburg Fire Department won the award. And on behalf of the Fitchburg Fire Department, I have Lieutenant Jeff Howe coming up to receive the award because our firefighters, you know, it's difficult to get them out. You know, they're on call. But I asked Jeff if he would come up and receive this award on behalf, and he said yes. So once again, let's have a round of applause for all of our awards. And I say thank you on behalf of the Fitchburg Salvation Army and look forward to a wonderful year next year. Thank you. You can have a seat. Thank you guys very much. Thank you. I know. And she says, next year, always. That makes me happy. Yes. So I really want to just tell everyone, again, how much I appreciate you. But secondly, Debbie's going like this to me. So there is cake. So please, everybody, if you haven't had get a piece of cake, please take one. If you want to take it home, that'll work. But before we adjourn and before we leave, I want to give one more award away. And this award is the Host of the Year Award.
You shouldn't have done that. Thank you. You shouldn't. You do too much for me. Thank you.
Barbara Foster.
Thank you. I'm very proud of that. Thank you. Oh my goodness, it's standing ovation. What am I looking at?
Yeah. And Major Davis. Okay.
Oh, okay. We're blinded by the light. Yeah.
But anyway,
Well said.
I hope that everybody enjoyed their the program tonight. It was a little different. But I would like to do a prayer before we leave. And again, I thank you all for being here to share in this wonderful, wonderful event. And it was all for you. Dear Heavenly Father, we're grateful. We're grateful for everything that's going on in this town with all the communities that are coming together. And Lord, as we go into this next year and going out of this building tonight, that you give us safe travels and watch out after us. And we just ask all these things in your name. Amen.
That was